Stampers, this is Lisa with Queen Bee Creations. Since we're all sequestered in our homes and told not to go out and talk to other people, this is the perfect time to sit down and watch Facebook Live and create cards with me, right? Gives you something to do and a little bit of social interaction, even if it is a little bit technical. When I was trying to get ready for today, I tried to find my sample and of course couldn't, so we're gonna go ahead and get started. Today we're going to make this card, and I'm using a little bit of a fancy fold that I use quite often, and we're going to use the So Sentimental bundle, which comes with these Stitched So Sweetly dies. I love these dies because they're stitched rectangles and then they're also scalloped on the edge, plus they have all these nesting labels of different shapes, but they still nest within one another. For today's card, what I did was I cut a piece of cardstock long ways. So I cut along the 11-inch side, or down the 11-inch, and then scored it at 5.5. This is kind of different than our normal. And then I cut off 2 3/4 from the one side. And what I'm going to do is spin that and have that on the front here. So it was originally here, and we're just giving it a little bit of a flip and putting it here. And then I'm going to grab a piece of cardstock for the inside. So this was our 11 by 4 1/4, scored at 5.5, cut it 2 3/4. Our inside layer is 4 inches by 5 1/4. Then I have these two pieces. One's going to go here and one's going to go here. And these are both 2.5 by 4. And then I already cut out our die cuts, and so this is in Calypso Coral. Looks like my scrap piece was about 3 3/4 by 3.5. And then this one is approximately 2 1/4 by 2 3/4 to give it a little extra room. But these are going to be for our sentiment for the front, and then I'm going to need Calypso Coral ink. So we'll get that out. These stamp sets are designed to fit inside these adorable little labels, which again are stitched. And so I'm going to use this one right here. It says Sending Healing Hugs. And then I also pulled out my Stampin' Up markers in Old Olive and Pineapple Punch. And I'm going to use the pineapple out of our Timeless Tropical stamp set. And that's going to go on our inside. And so I'm going to ink this up by using the brush tip end of our marker. One side is brush tipped and one is a fine tip for writing. I'm using the brush tipped end, and I'm just kind of flicking it from the side. I don't want to go down this way because this would ruin my point, but if I just flick from the side, I get more coverage and it doesn't destroy my point. And this has to be done with the Stampin' Up markers. You do not want to do this with alcohol markers because they are not good for your stamps. Alcohol markers are fantastic for coloring, but you don't want to use them on your stamps directly. They won't work. You can use them directly on your pearls, your rhinestones. You can change the color of white ribbon. There's lots and lots of uses for those. Just don't put them on your stamps. So that was Old Olive and Pineapple Punch. And then I'm going to just kind of breathe on it. The moisture from my breath kind of re-wets the ink. And this was kind of a smaller stamp, so I'm not too worried about it. But if you were doing a bigger image, you absolutely want to re-wet the ink. And it's real easy. The only other stamping I have going on here is this one for the front cover. And this is in Calypso Coral ink. And see how that just fits perfectly into this little shape? And then that shape is going to fit over this one. So it gives it a border, but then it also gives us the little tab on the end. The because these are red rubber stamps, I'm going to come over here to my Stampin' Scrub. I use our Stampin' Mist, and I sprayed that on this side, and then I just rub the stamp to clean it, and then rub it on this side to dry it. So again, kind of suds it up, and this one dries it off. So those are another option in addition to the simple chamois that I use sometimes as well. So with just a little bit of snail, I'm going to adhere this to our inside, and this is Pineapple Punch cardstock. This is one of our in colors, which is on the way out. So if you liked the in colors for 2018 to 2020, which was our Blueberry Bushel, Call Me Clover, Pineapple Punch, Lovely Lipstick, and there was one more. But anyway, they're really bright, pretty colors, and they are going to be going away in June. So now is the time to stock up if any of those are your favorites. I'm using the Tropical Designer Series paper. I believe they call it Tropical Oasis, but it's from our mini catalog, the January to June mini catalog. And then I'm going to use this one here. Again, see, that's one of those instances where it's very tropical on this side and very neutral on this side. So it can be done both ways. And then because I want to mount this on here, and I kind of want to center it overall, I only want to put adhesive on this side. So I don't want any extra adhesive popping out over the top. So I'm just going to use like my thumbnail, and I'm going to make a little bit of a mark just to know that I don't want anything past that side. And then I'm going to place it down on top and give that a good rub. People have said they've had some issues with our snail not sticking. I find it don't have that issue if I rub the back of it and make sure it's got really good contact. If you are worried about things sticking, I highly recommend our tear and tape. I do use that most times on things that get a lot of action. Oh, and you can notice my card is like popping up here on it. It's not staying shut. And the reason is because I forgot to use my bone folder. So if I bring this in and I run it down the edge, now it's totally flat. So that's, you know, people look at these things and go, you know, a bone folder, big deal. Why would I spend money on those? You know, I don't need one. This is why you need one. You can also use it as a scoring tool. You can put it in your Simply Scored, or you can set it in your trimmer. If you line up your paper according to the measurements on the bottom, and then you want to score, you can use the little thing that comes with it, that scoring tool, or you can use your bone folder down the middle. Some people prefer it that way. It does work both ways. And then I'm going to put this on here with dimensionals. Okay, now I was talking a little bit earlier how we can add little baubles to the end and that we can change the color of them. So I'm going to show you that. I've got our pearl accents, and then I've got our clear rhinestones. And then I'm going to bring in the alcohol marker. Now remember, I was saying we want to ink the stamps with the Stampin' Write, but we can ink and change the color of our rhinestones by using the alcohol markers. These are our Stampin' Blends. And so all you need to do is take the brush tip end and just color all over it and let it dry, and then that will change the color of those rhinestones. So you can, any color you have a Stampin' Blend, you can have a rhinestone in those colors. And here I did that with the pearls. Now I didn't use any today on our card, but you could take our regular white ribbon and lay that down on some scrap paper. And then you just drag the alcohol blend across the top of that, and we've just changed the color of our ribbon as well. So I mean, Stampin' Up! Does provide us with lots and lots of opportunities to color coordinate, because everything that Stampin' Up! Does is done in Stampin' Up! Colors. So if you're looking to coordinate things, all you need to do is look at the back of your designer series paper. And so this is our Tropical Oasis Designer Series paper, and right here it's going to tell you all the colors that are used in this pack. So when you're looking to coordinate your markers, your cardstock, your buttons, any of that, those are the colors that you can use. Of course, you know, other things match, but that's what's used in the Designer Series paper. So I think I've given these enough time to dry. And then I'm going to come in with our Take Your Pick tool and just pop underneath that little sticker. And there we go. There's today's card. Again, in like 15 minutes, we've got a beautiful card. And I do want to encourage us, as we're all like locked inside, this is a perfect time to be scrapbooking, to be making cards, but also to be sending cards. As people are kind of locked in their homes, I'm okay with that. I do that every day. But there are some people who are very social, who are put out by all of this, you know, social distance, I think they're calling it, or the isolation. And so cheering them up by sending them a card in the mail would be a perfect opportunity to share the love of Stampin' Up! And show them that you're caring about them. We also have many kits. If you're looking for something to do while you're home, you can obviously go to my store and find any number of wonderful items, but if you're thinking, I don't know how to pair them together, Stampin' Up! Does have several kits. And so within our catalogs, we have several stamp sets or kits that are all inclusive. And so for this one price, you would get everything you need, including your ink pad and your mini glue dots to make a bunch of cards out of this. This set makes 3 each of 4 designs. So you would get 12 cards in an adorable little box that they go in. Here's another set with a box. That's a little bit larger set. And then here's a Botanical Prince. And so definitely consider our kits and our paper pumpkin this time of year, because there's definitely lots of things that you can do with the kids as they're inside, or, you know, with your family as you're just sitting around, or if you're by yourself. Stamping is always fun, and sending cards to cheer people up is even better. So thank you for joining me. If you need anything that we used today in the making of this card, or you're interested in one of those kits, go ahead and shoot me an email or pop me a message, and you can also shop online at my store. Everything is available there, and I'll put the links above this post after I'm done. And I thank you for shopping with me, and I will see you next Monday at 2:30. Thanks. Bye.